What's up, buddy? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to No Life to Metal. It's time for another rock metal update. That's right, it's going to be another rock and metal update. This one's going to be all 7-inch vinyl. Just picked up quite a few, either done trading or I just picked up a bunch of them over the last couple months since I've done my last video. I'm going to start off with one I did purchase this one as I found it cheap, and they're kind of getting hard to find these days, but this is the first Skull single before they released their For Those Which Fall Asleep album. This features 2 songs, Sometime Yesterday Morning, which is a brand new song for the band, of course, which is made up of 2 ex-members of Trouble, including vocalist Eric Wagner. And the B-side is actually a cover song of Trouble. It's The Last Judgment. And now black vinyl, I think it was released in maybe another color vinyl, white maybe I think it was. Don't really care. Just glad to have one. Great album. I love the full-length album that came after this. A lot of people said it wasn't that great. I don't know what they were listening to, because for me it's just a great album. It's fantastic Trouble style, doom. It's actually returned to the more doomy sound for them, and if I'm not mistaken, that may be one of the reasons that they split from Trouble, because they wanted to go in that more doom sound. But yeah, I like it, and I like this little 7-inch single as well. So I got this from, let's see, where did I get this from? Shadow Kingdom. And they still have some copies left, so if you're looking for a copy of the Skull, check out Shadow Kingdom and grab them quick before they're gone. Picked up this from a UK seller, fairly cheap. This is 1980. This is Emergency from Girlschool, backed with Furniture Fire. Early new wave of British heavy metal stuff from the all-female band, who many say sounded just like Motorhead. Yeah, they kind of have that Motorhead tank, new wave of British heavy metal vibe going on. Kind of raw, crunchy, kind of a punk work ethic mixed in with the music, but definitely more refined than your average, late 70s, early 80s punk bands. Very heavy stuff, great album, great song. Later on, Motorhead recorded a cover of that song, Emergency, with these girls. So great to have this original release in my hand again on the Bronze label, again from 1990. That one actually came out before their first album. This single came out after their second album, but also in 1980. This is the song Yeah Right, which is another classic one by them. The B-side, which I can't remember for the life of me at the moment, is, if I can get it out of the envelope here, The Hunter, which is another classic song. The first 2 Girlschool albums are just fantastic. You're not going to find a whole lot of songs that aren't good on those 2 albums, in my opinion. Again, on the Bronze label, released just after their first album came out. Another new wave of British heavy metal single from a classic band, Girlschool. These guys don't fit into the new wave of British heavy metal sound, but they definitely were around and part of that movement. This is the Mama's Boys. This is the Crazy EP. Craze EP, the title right there. This was released as a 12-inch single and as obviously a 7-inch single. The 7-inch single is actually a gatefold 2 record sets. I have a 12-inch version. Unfortunately, the mailman destroyed that one. It literally came cracked in half in the mail. So I've got behind me kind of a stack of records that are just in crap condition that I just feel guilty throwing away. But let's see, you've got their cover of their cover of Mama We're All Crazy Now, which of course Quiet Riot had a hit with, but frankly I think the Mama's Boys version is better. Unfortunately, they didn't get the radio airplay and the push that Quiet Riot did. And then Crazy Daisy's House of Dreams. So that's the single there. There you go. That's why you get the Crazy EP, because both songs have the word crazy in them. But this is a 2 LP set, like I said, and this one comes with Runaway Dreams and Gentleman's Robe. Runaway Dreams is one of my all-time favorite Mama's Boy songs. It features a cool violin portion from the Professor, who's the guitar player in the band. They kind of always mixed in that guitar violin thing, not on every song, but here and there, and it was kind of one of their trademarks. They were an Irish band. Again, not part of the new wave of British heavy metal, but around during that same time, and part of that same, worldwide revolution of heavy metal. So Mama's Boy's crazy EP from, I think this was 82 or something like that, on the Jive label. Jive. Same seller. I picked this one up because I'm just a fanatic of this band. I have been since I was, I don't know, a teenager basically. And he had it cheap, and it said that it was unplayed and in new shape condition. But this is from 1983. In 1983, this is the picture disc of Heavy Metal Love from Helix, Canadian hard rock heavy metal band with No Rest for the Wicked on the B-side. So very cool. Again, just one of those bands that I'll just pretty much buy anything from. And if you watch my updates for nolifetilmetal on YouTube, you also know that we just recently announced that we're going to be releasing a Helix album on the nolifetilmetal label, so I'm super excited about that. The album we're releasing is called Bastard of the Blues, and it's never been released on vinyl before. So, yeah, it's a great album from them. It's hard, it's heavy, it's it's not them trying to fit into any current sound. It's just Helix being Helix, and they're very good at it. So enough of that. Aerosmith, Draw a Line, yet another Aerosmith single to add to the ever-growing Aerosmith single collection. Backside is Bright Light Fright. This U.S. pressing actually came all the way from Helsinki, and from my good friend Posse in Helsinki, and he came across this in a store out there and grabbed it for me. He's always keeping his eye out for Aerosmith singles, and we trade back and forth. Matter of fact, I just sent a huge box off to him. Funny thing was that I was emailing him about the box I was about to send him, and I was gonna put a couple more records in it than what I did send. He's like, dude, don't overdo it. So I didn't put those records in, and I'll just save those for next time. But this is anyhow a very cool single. I'm always looking for Aerosmith singles. As well as that one, he also found this one. Dude Looks Like a Lady. This is a I can't remember where the pressing is. It's European pressing. I should have looked that up before I showed it, right? Can't remember what country it's from. Regardless, it's got a different cover than any of the ones that I had before. Front cover, back cover. It's see if there's a pressing on here somewhere. Yeah, just don't see it. I think it's German pressing, but I'm not 100% positive. Regardless, really glad to have it. I still got to clean this one up. There's still a little stipple residue on there. Nothing, little film cleaner won't take off very easily. Dude Looks Like a Lady, LP version, backed with Monkey on My Back. And one more from Aerosmith. Never owned this one. This is the Janie's Got a Gun single. Again, I believe this one is, let's see, this one might be German as well. Let's see. Yeah, I can't see a country on here anywhere, but I'm sure it's on there somewhere. Regardless, here's the front cover. Here's the back cover. Like I said, anything Aerosmith is welcome in my collection, and I'm always looking for, even if I already have Janie's Got a Gun in a different format, it's one of those bands I just collect anything and everything by, so always glad to have them. Another one to the ever-growing Striper collection. This is Calling on You. This is on the Music for Nations label, which of course comes out of the UK. I did not have this one. It's backed with Free. I think, was it a live version of Free? I can't remember now. Actually, I haven't played this one yet, this actual single itself. But again, this one came from Posse, and he scored this one for me. Very cool. So there's the Music for Nations label. And this one's fantastic. I never even seen this one before. This is UFO. Excuse me. It's called This Time. Excuse me. Having a hard time over here speaking. And The Chase on the B-side. This is 80s UFO. Most people don't care for as much as the earlier UFO stuff. But this one's from 1985. Regardless, I mean, look at that cover. That's just so cool. I don't know who was in the band that was still original other than Phil Mogg. I see you got Paul Gray, Paul Raymond, who had been with the band for a long time, and who else we got on here? Tommy M on guitar. Yeah, this is when the band was definitely losing their popularity in the 80s. Minus Schenker, of course, who left in 1980, I believe it was. So this is 5 years on. But it's still solid, hard rock, heavy metal from the UK veterans, one of the first wave of British heavy metal bands. And again, I've never seen this single before, so I was really glad he scored a copy for me. This is a Deep Purple original pressing of Woman from Tokyo and a live version of Black Knight. Another one of those bands I just love everything by, especially the Gillan years. So this single one time belonged to somebody named Lowell. I've seen him out in Europe, and so if you're watching this, Lowell, I have your record. It's mine now. And this is on the Purple label from, let's see when this one came out here, 1973. So there's the purple center ring. I got a few people questioning me, why do you call it a center ring? It's a center label. No, same thing, different name. When I put orders into order records for, say, rock, something like that, and I'm putting the artwork in, for the album cover, and they always ask for the center ring artwork, so therefore that's why I call it that. So center ring, center label, same thing. This one's super duper rare. Recently, Rox Records resurrected the Malachia collection, and the band actually had like 20 copies of this left that they basically had forgotten about, and they gave them to Bill to sell along with the CDs. So the first, maybe it was 30 copies, I can't remember. So the first 20 or 30 copies of the CD, you could buy it with this 7-inch single. It wasn't cheap, I'll tell you that, but this is a super rare single from them. On Wade Records, this is Red Sunrise on one side and Master's Call on the other side. This was a promotional single only. So California classic heavy metal from Malachi, whose sound kind of has, I'd say a Queensryche influence to their sound. They don't sound like a clone of Queensryche, but it kind of has, those operatic, clean vocals of Ken Pike and that kind of grandiose heavy metal sound for the, for the 80s, mid 80s. 85 was this? I think it might have been around 85 or so. They did release 2 full-length albums as well. One you can find fairly easily, which is called Red Sunrise. Their first album is nearly impossible to find. Very sad story about that. The band had hundreds of copies, and they said back in the day they couldn't give records away because it was during the late 80s into the 90s. Everybody wanted CDs. They trashed them. They threw them in the garbage. So that album, that's why that album is so rare. They threw them away. They just didn't think they were worth anything. Of course, they would be worth quite a bit now if they still had copies, but whatever. Thin Lizzy, another one of those bands I just keep collecting everything by. This is a promo single, U.S. radio single for Hollywood, Down Your Knees. It's got the same song on both sides. Like I said, it's just a radio promo single, and I think I got it for $1. It was actually an eBay bind, and I bought something else from the seller, and I was going through his list, and he had that one up for auction for $1, and I was like, all right. So I bid the $1 on it and ended up winning it. So I didn't have to pay shipping because I already had to pay shipping on the other products. So $1 for a Thin Lizzy single, can't beat that. Not a picture sleeve, but still it's Thin Lizzy. Welcome to my collection. This one came from these next few came from the Headbanging Zulu. This is Rainbow, Can't Let You Go. There you can see, what's his name? Singer. I keep thinking Graham Bonnet, that's not right. It's Julian Turner on the front cover singing there. The lighting's pretty bad today for some reason, but there you go. But you got Can't Let You Go on the A side, and the B side is All Night Long, a live version with Julian Turner singing it. And there's the back of the single. Again, Richie Blackmore and Julian Turner. This was, let's see what the year, 1983, Polydor label, and this is a UK pressing. And that's exactly where the Headbanging Zulu comes from. Headbanging Zulu UK is its channel name, so. This is a Black Sabbath, Never Say Die, in the original polygram sleeve. It's actually on the Vertigo label, but back during that time, this is the sleeve they came in, so it is the correct sleeve for the record. So you got Never Say Die from 1978 with She's Gone on the B-side. And She's Gone was that, I think that was a song that Bill Ward might have sang. It's been a while since I've heard that song, but I think that might be the correct song. So there you go. New Wave of British Heavy Metal, though by this time they had changed their style a little bit, but this is a picture single of Diamond Head. This is Kingmaker and Out of Phase from, let's see, I don't know the year on this one. I think it might have been around, I think it would have been around 83 as well. But I like this version of Diamond Head. A lot of people didn't because it wasn't quite as raw and heavy as the Lightning to the Nations era stuff, but still a solid album from them, and this is a cool single that won. So, I don't know if this is the correct single sleeve or what. I've never seen this particular sleeve before, but this is Iron Maiden running free, backed with Sanctuary from 1985. It's just in a generic 7-inch single sleeve. I don't know if it's sold like that. I haven't looked it up yet. You can see it's the single costs £1, so that's pretty cool. Actually, I'm going to leave that sticker on there because I kind of like it. The £1 and that little Iron Maiden written on single over there. See, just kind of gives it character to something that's otherwise bland. But again, this one came from the Headbanging Zulu UK. Iron Maiden, another one of their fans. Everything. Last two for this video. This is actually Motorhead and Girlschool. I actually have the picture sleeve version of this one. This one's kind of odd. It's in this, I think it might have been a radio single, because it's in this generic cardboard sleeve, which is poly-lined, and it's got the songs handwritten on there. Please Don't Touch, Emergency, and Bomber. Bomber being Girlschool covering Motorhead, and then Emergency being Motorhead covering Girlschool, and then Please Don't Touch, which is both bands together, I believe. Very cool EP. I have, like I said, it's the St. Valentine's Day Massacre EP, and I have the original of this, but I think this is a radio pressing of this. I need to check into it and look and see if it looks exactly like the one I have or not, but still a very cool EP, 7-inch EP, and I'm going to be keeping it as part of my Motorhead and or Girlschool collection. And the last one is a band I had never heard of before. Not bad hard rock band. This is Little Angels. This band, apparently, I looked them up, they had been around for quite a while, and this was actually kind of more in the middle of their catalog. Started in the 70s, this was like 85, was it? I looked it up, I can't remember now. Not 91, this was even later than that. But yeah, it's just straightforward, solid, melodic, heavy rock. Definitely not in tune with the times, which is fine with me because they stuck to their musical guns. Hooky but commercial. It's not gonna blow Slayer fans away. But if you're into that kind of melodic heavy metal, melodic hard rock that was coming out in the late 80s and the early 90s, a little bit of a sleazy vibe to it, that's what you're gonna get with Little Angels. But yeah, this is Young Gods, the single. And that is a picture sleeve, and let me show you the front and back. Here's the front. Picture of the band in the back. You kind of see they kind of have that late 80s, early 90s kind of look to them. Kind of like what Guns N' Roses and all those kind of bands were kind of looking like around that time. So not exactly glam anymore, just denim and leather, but still has the the long big hair and still has the rock and roll look, which is sadly missing from a lot of bands these days on the Polydor label. So there you go. That's a whole lot of 7-inch records in what, 20 minutes time there, so not too bad. So anyhow, once again, appreciate y'all watching. Going to be doing a No Life Till Metal update video real soon. I've got some test pressings to show, and I'll get more into what's going to be released on the No Life Till Metal label soon. We have waiting for one contract to be signed, and then I can make the announcement on that one as well. So anyhow, that's it. Thank you all for watching. God bless and stay strong.